Chinese generals in open defiance, thousands clashing with police in Wuhan, and Donald Trump warning he holds incredible cards that could destroy China? As Beijing prepares for its grand September 3rd showcase, the stage is set for crisis. Military cracks widen at the very top, protests spread like wildfire from Sichuan to Hubei, and the economy pushes workers and retirees into the streets. Abroad, Washington sharpens its financial and strategic weapons, while the skies themselves prepare a chilling omen, a blood moon rising over Beijing. Is this just coincidence, or the countdown to China's most dangerous moment in decades? It's all covered in today's China Unfiltered. Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers across the world is a huge source of inspiration for us. Chinese generals rebel? We will not accept a traitor presiding over the military review. Beijing is only days away from its grand September 3rd showcase. Yet, astonishingly, no one knows who will stand at the podium as parade commander. On August 27th, Yao Cheng, a former lieutenant colonel in the Chinese Navy now living in the United States, dropped a bombshell on his X account. According to him, several Chinese generals had jointly submitted a letter to the Central Military Commission, CMC, declaring, "We will not accept a traitor to the nation presiding over a military review." By long-standing custom, the honor of parade commander falls to the head of the Central Theater Command. That post is believed to be held by Wang Qiang, with Xu Deqing as political commissar. Yet both men were conspicuously missing from the Ministry of Defense's Army Day reception at the Great Hall of the People on July 31st. Their absence instantly fueled speculation that something had gone badly wrong. According to the Epoch Times, bitter infighting inside the CCP's upper ranks has thrown the entire chain of command for the parade into disarray. Even the one fallback option, Liu Zhenli, chief of the Joint Staff Department, has shown no sign of stepping forward. With just a week to go, Yao warned, something big is about to break. To be sure, Yao's revelations cannot be independently verified. But if true, if multiple generals really did sign their names to such a letter, it would signal a political crisis of historic proportions inside the CCP. According to commentator Li Muyang, the letter didn't specify who the traitor to the nation was, but realistically, the only person who fits is Xi Jinping himself. Without power, one cannot harm the nation. Only the man at the top makes those decisions. Based on current signs, Xi remains the most likely figure to review the troops, with Zhang Yuxia as a possible alternative. Yet if senior generals openly refuse to accept a traitor as commander, the standoff could spark an unpredictable upheaval in the days ahead. This isn't the first unsettling rumor. Yao had earlier disclosed, citing a retired officer inside the CMC compound, that 3 contingency plans were already drafted. Plan A, Xi Jinping himself reviews the troops. Plan B, if Xi's health falters, CMC Vice Chairman Zhang Yuxia takes over. Plan C, if Xi and Zhang clash, a third figure would be brought in as a compromise, most likely Liu Zhenli. Independent commentator Du Zheng added another layer of concern. In recent years, when senior officials vanish from major state events, it usually means they are already in trouble. If both Wang Qiang and Xu Deqing have indeed fallen, then Beijing's grand military parade will be scrambling at the last moment to find someone, anyone, credible enough to lead it. But here lies the catch. According to Vision Times, appointing Liu Zhenli or Zhang Yuxia would only fuel further doubts. Rumors already swirl that Zhang has been monopolizing military power, and his elevation would deepen those suspicions. As Du Zheng put it bluntly, when the regime can't even find someone to command a parade, it signals nothing less than a collapse in the PLA's personnel system. Commentator Li Muyang offered a final scenario. If Wang Qiang and Xu Deqing are indeed sidelined, the responsibility could trickle down to Lieutenant General Wang Shukong, the current deputy commander of the Central Theater Command. A former protege of Liu Zhenli, Wang was promoted in August 2023 from commander of the 74th Group Army to his present role, likely thanks to Liu's support. In short, with the countdown to September 3rd underway, Beijing's parade, meant to project strength, has instead exposed the fractures at the very heart of the Chinese military. Once WUKAN, now Wuhan, China's protests are spreading like wildfire. Compared to the turmoil inside the military, Beijing faces an even bigger nightmare: the rising anger of its own people. In just the past few weeks, massive protests have erupted across China, stretching from Jiangsu in Sichuan to Wuhan in Hubei to Hangzhou in Guangxi. What look like isolated sparks are, in fact, connecting into a dangerous curve of unrest. In Wuhan, on the night of August 25th, at Golden Field Square, thousands of residents surrounded the police, locking them in, as physical clashes broke out again and again. Video clips show frightened women screaming for help while the crowd roared in defiance, "You struck first." What triggered this? Online, two competing explanations are circulating. One says that urban management officers injured multiple citizens, with even a pregnant woman allegedly beaten so badly she miscarried. The other version claims that urban management officers moved in to squeeze local vendors with steep demands: an entry fee of 10,000 yuan, nearly $1,400, monthly charge of 2,000 yuan, around $280, and even mandatory purchases of standardized food trucks. The crackdown sparked outrage among the vendors, and tempers quickly boiled over into clashes. Which account is true remains unverified, but the truth may matter less than the outcome. The sight of hundreds, indeed thousands, of Wuhan residents openly clashing with police is almost unheard of in mainland China. And Wuhan is not alone. As previously reported on August 3rd in Jiangsu, Sichuan, a case of 14-year-old girl badly bullying escalated into a massive standoff between furious residents and police, with crowds surrounding the local government compound. Beijing labeled that incident the Sichuan version of WUKAN, invoking memories of one of China's most famous grassroots uprisings. According to Wikipedia, the WUKAN protests erupted in Guangdong's Wukan village in 2011 as a mass anti-corruption uprising. By December, villagers had expelled local officials, only to be surrounded by police in a dramatic standoff that ended in a fragile truce. But the calm didn't last. Villagers rose again in June 2016, and by September, after former village leader Lin Zulian was sentenced to prison, clashes broke out once more, only to be crushed by authorities. Now, with Wuhan joining in, the message is clear: the unrest is contagious. Once a single city crosses the threshold of fear, it sparks a realization elsewhere: if they can do it, so can we. China's anger breaks the silence. Across mainland China, the streets are no longer quiet. In recent years, wave after wave of large-scale public protests has broken out, and this August has been no exception. According to the Vision Times, on August 26th, construction workers at the Optics Valley Media Building in Wuhan, Hubei, staged a gathering to demand their wages. One worker revealed the shocking truth: not a single paycheck has been issued since the start of the year. A day earlier, on August 25th, more than 100 retired seniors gathered in front of the Guangdong Provincial Human Resources and Social Security Department, furious over the authorities' withholding of Social Security arrears. Their chants rang out: "Down with corrupt officials." From August 12 to 25, in Xi'an, Shanxi, construction workers at the China Railway Construction Investment Damming Palace West project assembled for 14 days straight, demanding long overdue wages. On August 23 to 24, employees of Minsheng department store in Xi'an staged a sit-in protest against what they called illegal layoffs. On the night of August 21st, performers at the Rongcheng Beer Festival in Chongqing walked off the stage, going on strike after not being paid. That same day, 2,000 workers at Maori Electronics Factory in Dongguan, Guangdong, launched a strike of their own. The reason? The company was relocating its factory from Newshan to Qingxi, Dongguan, without paying compensation. Workers said management even tried to secretly move equipment piece by piece, in what they called a moving ant operation, to avoid notice. From August 20 to 21, workers at BEIJING'S Suqiao plant in Guilin, Guangxi downed tools, demanding the company honor Guilin City's minimum wage of 20,200 yuan, nearly $308. They argued that Suqiao falls under Guilin's urban zone, but BYD insisted on paying the lower Yongfu County standard of 1,870 yuan, about $261. After local government intervention, the strike was quashed. Gripped by the CCP's iron hand, the basic rights of ordinary people are not just overlooked, they are crushed. As China's economy sinks deeper, unemployment climbs, wages go unpaid, and repression grows harsher, public fury is reaching the breaking point. What once seemed rare is now routine, citizens colliding with authorities, not as isolated sparks, but as an inevitable storm. Beijing's powder keg, from Trump's threats to a blood-red sky. As unrest and protests flare across the country, China looks like a powder keg, ready to explode at any moment. And on the international stage, tensions with the United States are only climbing higher, after President Donald Trump declared that he holds a card powerful enough to destroy China at any time. According to Fox News on August 25th, before meeting South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, President Donald Trump told reporters in the Oval Office, "We have much bigger and better cards than they do. They have some cards. We have incredible cards. But I don't want to play those cards. If I did, that would destroy China." Trump then added, "I'm not going to play those cards." President Trump offered no details on what those cards might be. Analysts speculate they could involve economic pressure, political leverage, or something else entirely. What Trump did confirm is that he recently spoke with Xi Jinping by phone and is weighing a trip to mainland China later this year to meet him face-to-face. Back in July, Trump said Xi had already extended the invitation. Meanwhile, U.S.-China trade tensions remain razor-sharp. On August 12th, Washington and Beijing agreed to extend their truce for 90 more days, giving negotiators extra time to seek a deal. Earlier this year, Trump repeatedly escalated tariffs on Chinese goods, peaking at 145% in April, before settling most back to 30%. Beijing responded with 10% tariffs on U.S. imports. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent warned in July that China's support for sanctioned oil had become a major flashpoint. He raised the issue in Geneva in May, again in London in June, but little progress was made. Washington has long accused Iran and Russia of using oil revenues to fund terrorism. Yet Beijing continues to defy sanctions, remaining the largest buyer of Iranian crude and the second largest importer of Russian oil. Then came another warning shot. On August 25th, while hosting Lee Jae-myung at the White House, Trump again raised U.S.-China tensions. He claimed that because Beijing refuses to supply magnets needed for American automobile production, Washington retaliated by withholding Boeing aircraft engines and parts, components critical for China's C919 passenger jet, grounding 200 planes. Trump doubled down to reporters, "They have to give us magnets. If they don't give us magnets, then we have to charge them 200% tariff or something." At the heart of this fight are rare earths and rare earth magnets, critical for smartphones, microchips, electric vehicles, and modern defense systems. In April, Beijing hit back against Trump's tariff hikes by slapping export controls on several rare earth products and magnets. With China controlling 90% of the world's magnet supply, the stage is set for a showdown with global consequences. From the cracks at the very top of the military to protests erupting in Wuhan, Xi'an, and beyond, to unpaid workers and retirees chanting "down with corrupt officials" in the streets, China today looks less like a fortress and more like a powder keg. Meanwhile, Washington sharpens its own weapons. Trump spoke of incredible cards that could destroy China. Are they financial weapons? Leverage and rare earth wars that strike directly at the lifeblood of the CCP elite. The omen rises. On September 7 to 8, a blood moon will rise, visible across all of China. The blood moon or lunar eclipse begins at 11:28 p.m. and lasts until 4:55 a.m. The peak comes at 1:30 a.m., when the moon turns blood red for 1 hour and 22 minutes. But this isn't the first. In July, Heilongjiang saw the red moon for 2 nights in a row. In March, Yunnan residents filmed it, warning, "When the earthquake struck, the moon was also blood red. The red moon means everything will be reset." And on August 1, 2023, in Hubei's Taiping town, a massive blood moon filled the sky. Locals gasped, "Have you ever seen the moon like this before?" This time, it will hang over Beijing, as cannons thunder along Chang'an Avenue. In ancient Chinese culture, the blood moon was an omen of war, disease, and disaster. The Book of the Later Han warned, "When one serves heaven without reverence, the sun and moon turn red." History seemed to prove the omen true. In 498 AD, under the red glow of a blood moon, General Sima Wangjing led a cavalry rebellion against Emperor Ming of southern Qi. The very next year, 499, as Xiao Baojuan ascended the throne, another blood moon appeared, and Prince Xiao Yaoguang was crushed in battle. And in 1644, on the night of the 18th day of the third lunar month, the moon was recorded as red as blood. That same year, Li Zicheng's rebels stormed Beijing and the Chongzhen Emperor hanged himself on a crooked tree in Coal Hill. Time and again, the blood moon marked the fall of rulers and the rise of chaos. The Bible echoes the same. Revelation 6 verse 12 writes, "There was a great earthquake, the sun turned black, the whole moon turned blood red." Revelation 11:18 writes, "The time has come for judging the dead, for rewarding the faithful, and destroying those who destroy the earth." Across cultures, across centuries, the blood moon means one thing: endings, judgment. No one escapes, emperor or commoner, living or dead. So, coincidence? Or a sign that a regime already under siege may be entering its most dangerous hour? When the red moon rises over China, will it be the red of nature or the red of history breaking open? What do you think about today's topic? Could this be a turning point for China and its people? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your voice. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this story is far from over.